All right, good evening, everybody. Let me introduce who I am. My name is Dr. Roz. It's Rosalind Shaw Belt is my full name, but everybody calls me Dr. Roz. I am the CEO of Dream to Life Productions and Ministry. I'm a wife, a musician, do a lot of other stuff. At some one point, I was president of a record company and became a recording engineer. But what's important to me is that I have a doctorate in theology and divinity. So I love God, love the Lord. And I love to inspire. I love to motivate. I love to empower people. I love to teach. I am a licensed insurance agent, network marketer. I'm VP of communications here at a company by the name of Akana. I'll tell you a little bit more about that in a few minutes. And I'm a certified wellness coach. So you're going to hear a lot about that tonight. Akana, let's talk about who we are before we get into the bioscan. You took a bioscan. Hopefully you have pictures of that thing that you took on your phone. So if you don't, go ahead and start pulling that up. I'll be getting into that, but I'm gonna give you time to get that in your hand. Let's talk about our company name, Akana. It means in the hands of God. That means really a whole lot to us. We launched our company on 4/20 of 2019, and we started with a line of CBD products and essential oils. Then we expanded in 2020 with a complete line of wellness and weight management products. We expanded again in 2021 when we introduced the flat belly lifestyle. We really have now more than 28,000 customers, and we're really proud to invest or to reinvest 1% of our gross profits, that's off the top, to empower undeserved communities. We work hard every day to deliver 5-star customer support. Now, I told you I have a doctorate in theology. I have a doctorate in divinity. So I'm not a medical doctor, but I'm a certified wellness coach. But I always like for us to hear from the voice, say from the horse's mouth, of doctors and wellness experts regarding the subject we're going to be talking about tonight. So let's start off with that. Check this out.
2/3 of adults are now overweight or obese, and we have an epidemic cascade of debilitating disease that's overcoming the country. There's no way we can sustain the current style of care with the epidemic that we're creating with our diet and lifestyle choices. The diabetes, the arthritis, the heart disease, the dementia, the obesity, the cancers are affecting about 70% of deaths. All the data is that those 70% of deaths and morbidity are largely lifestyle related and preventable. Most kids by age 10 in the US already have fatty streaks in their arteries, the first stage of atherosclerosis leading to heart attacks, strokes.
Here in American medicine, we operate from the disease model. We are in the business of treating sick people. We are not in the business of trying to prevent people from becoming sick.
When you look at chronic disease risk, all the things that we walk around worrying about, actually dietary choices trump smoking when it comes to those risks.
If I could deliver one message to the researchers who are looking for the cause of diabetes and the cause of clogged arteries and the cause of high blood pressure and the cause of obesity, I would tell them the answer is in 3 words. It's the food. It's what Americans are eating.
Yes. So that's what we're going to talk about tonight. Now, don't shoot the messenger. These are doctors talking about it's in the food. And you heard the doctor say we're not in the business of preventing sickness. We're in the business. They go to medical school 8 years or more to learn how to treat sickness. And all of us have been in contact with somebody in our family or in our sphere of influence that has experienced heart disease or died of a heart attack or had a stroke. The number 1 leading cause of death, and it's been that for a long time. Number 2, let's talk about number 1 first, heart disease. But see, here's the thing you may not know. In 2020, nearly 700,000 people died from heart disease in the United States. And the very first time they found out about it was at death. That's atrocious. You know why that's atrocious? Because 90% of them had heart disease and it was preventable. You're going to hear me talk about things being reversed over and over again. Number 2, cancer. Number 3, COVID-19, since the pandemic. But you might be really surprised to find out that the number 3 leading cause of death prior to COVID was medical error. Yep, you heard me right. Being diagnosed with something that really you shouldn't have been diagnosed with, or something that could have been reversed. See, there are some things that lead to disease. Nobody has anything overnight. Nobody's a diabetic overnight or has cancer overnight or has high blood or lupus or MS or whatever you might be dealing with or living with, but it didn't happen overnight. It progressed. And I'm going to tell you about 6 things that cause that progression. One is the lack of oxygen. The lack of oxygen in our blood leads to disease. It's one of the primary causes. Mucus and parasite buildup. And I'm talking about over time, and everything you're going to hear me talk about tonight, we're not talking about last week, last month, or last year. We're talking about over time, things that have been transpiring in your body since you were teenagers up until now, because that's what that bioscan showed, what was taking place over time. Mucus builds up from our cooked food, from the toxin things that we put in our body, all the packaged foods and causing toxins, and and they're shooting up the chickens and the cows and all this kind of stuff. Toxicity. Listen, there's so much toxin in our food. I mean, our children are living with fast food restaurants. When you drive down the street, they're everywhere. The commercials are bombarding us everywhere with all the fast food joints. So we've got to get the toxics out of our body. And so many deficiencies. I mean, we lack the nutrients in the food that we're eating. One, we cook it out, we heat it up. And so now we live our lives and we get older and we get older. And then we have so many lacks of different vitamins, different minerals, different trace elements that are lacking in our body that actually, because of the lack of, it leads to disease. And then we have acid, an acidic body. Listen, disease cannot dwell in an alkaline environment. You're going to hear me talk about that a little bit more. But we need to get the acid out. We need to have an alkaline environment so that disease cannot thrive there. And you know what? Let me ask this question. How many of you know your blood type? If you know your blood type right now, I want you to put it in the chat. I want you to go to the chat and say, I'm a blood type A, just put A. If you know you're a B, put B. If you're an AB, put AB. If you're an O, put O. Now, if you do not know, put IDK. I do not know. I don't know. Because here's what you don't know, that your blood type is more reliable measure of your identity than your race, than your culture, than your geography, where you were born. It's the genetic blueprint. It is your genetic blueprint for who you are, your personality, so many things. And it's a guide to how you can even live your life healthfully. Guess what? If you don't know your blood type, you quite probably are eating something that's poisonous to you. Yes, toxic to you. Yes, don't shoot the messenger. You heard me right. Listen, if you're blood type B, let me talk about the Bs, okay? Any blood type Bs in the house? And you love your chicken and you're eating it 3-4 times a week? It's toxic to your blood. And you're wondering why your body's staying inflamed. You're wondering why your stomach gets bloated. You're wondering why you're dealing with a chronic condition, because you may be a blood type A and you're eating a banana every day. And it's causing you the problems. Unfortunately, most of us don't know. I did not know my blood type. And, sometimes even if you ask your doctor, they're going to be like, well, why you want to know? Because it's my blood, right? But this is just a sample. And there's so many different foods that are toxic to certain kinds of blood type. So what we do here at Wakanda is we're going to help you with that. One of the things that we do is we have blood type testing. It's very easy to do. I'll show you shortly what I'm talking about just briefly, but you got to get back with the person who invited you and let them know, look, I don't know my blood type. I need to know my blood type. It's your genetic testing. And you don't need to know it just because in case you give blood. No, that's not the only reason. You need to know it in case you are constantly eating something that is actually toxic to your blood type. It's not able, it doesn't have the antigen in your blood to break down the proper food. Now, you were privileged and we were privileged to be able to assist you with our bioscan. Let me talk a little bit about it, what it really was. Hopefully we explained a little bit when you were with us in whatever setting that you joined us in, whether you were in whatever city or state. But even Albert Einstein said this, that the future of medicine is energy medicine. See, it's all about the energy in your cells. It's all about the cells that send out that energy. We learned it back in school back in the day, or maybe we didn't learn it, but at least we heard it about the cells, trillions of them in our body. And they do this cycle: grow, split, regenerate, die, grow, split, regenerate, die. That's a cycle. And for some of them, it's about 15 years. Some are even shorter than that. So in essence, we are really not supposed to be no older biologically than 15 years. So that means we can reverse this thing. That means we can really age reversal. Now, we can't do anything about the chronological age, but our biological age can be reversed if we put the right foods in our body so that our cells are nourished like they should be. So we can live healthy. We don't have to live unhealthy lives. We can live to be hundreds of years young and be healthy. So this biofeedback technology is based on quantum physics. And that's why when you held that wand in your hand, in less than 2 minutes, we showed you some areas of your body. So let's get there. Let's go there. Here we go. Got your phone in your hand. Pull up that first report. That report, first of all, let me tell you what's on the report. They're columns. And these columns, one says testing. Those are items that were tested. The second column is the normal range, which is where we all want to be. The third column are the actual measures. Those are yours. That's why you're looking at your own test. It's not like anybody else's. There's no duplicate. There's no one size fits all. No, it's very personal to you based on what you fill out on the report, your age, all of those things, your height, your weight, all of that. So it's based on you, genetic blueprint, right? And then the next thing are some colors. So that's what we're going to focus tonight, because that just kind of makes it simple to understand: the green, the blue, the yellow, and the red. The green means it's normal, whatever that item is. The blue means it's mildly out of balance or mildly abnormal. I like to use the word out of balance. The yellow, moderately out of balance. And the red, severely out of balance. Now, out of balance is not disease. It just means you're going in the wrong direction. As I often say, if I'm going to California and I'm driving east, I need somebody to tap me on the shoulder and tell me I'm going in the wrong direction. And that's what this is tonight. We're saying to you, as you look at your phone, as you look at your blueprint, as you look at your report, if you see something in the blue, the yellow, or the red, you're going in the wrong direction. But here's the good news: it's reversible, and you can turn it around. Now, you notice there's some blue, yellow, and red on the right of the green, and there's some blue, yellow, and red on the left of the green. What does that mean? Left means decrease, right means increase. In other words, here's how God so wonderfully made our bodies. If something's on the left, you'll usually see something on the right to kind of give it a balance, because if there's something on the left, it means it's not working as effective or efficiently as it should. So what has to happen? Something else has to overcompensate, and it's working harder than it should. And we don't want either one. If something is not working as good, we definitely don't want that. And if something is working harder than it should over time, that's not good either. So we got to fix it. But the beauty of it is, guys, ladies and gentlemen, it's fixable. That's what I got to get you to understand. It's reversible. So here's our first report: cardiovascular and cerebral vascular. That's the longest report that you took. And that means the heart and the brain. And all the items on this page are for the heart except for the last two. The last two relate to the brain. So now I'm going to talk about these in pairs. I'm going to pair some of these things up, and because they are so interrelated. So let's get started. The first and third thing I want to talk about is blood viscosity and blood fat. That's the first one and third one on that row. Now, you should see something. If it's not in the green, it will be to the right. If it is to the right, whether it's in the blue, mildly, yellow, moderately, and red, severely, listen, understand this. If it's blood viscosity, that's the thickness of the blood. That means your blood is thicker than it should be. And if you're in the red, more than likely, you're probably already taking blood thinner. Well, why is your blood thicker than it is? Well, that's why I paired it with blood fat, because fatty tissues in the blood. Where does that come from? It comes from the food. It comes from our diet. Fatty tissues build up because of the kind of diet that we've been eating over time. No, don't tell me about what you did last week, last month, or last year. Maybe you've improved and you're eating the right things now, but have you always been? So if you're in the red, guess what? We got to clean it up. We got to get those tissues out. We got to get that thickness thinned out without the use of medication. Because quite frankly, now I'm not saying you shouldn't take any medication. So don't leave here saying, oh, they teach over there, don't take medicine. That's not what we're saying. But what we're saying is there are other options. There are some other solutions, and we don't want to live on it because those are toxic. They're toxic to our blood. Those are chemicals. That's reality. That's just the truth. So that blood viscosity we needed to thin out. Cholesterol, is it on the right? In the blue, the yellow, or the red? If it's in the blue, like this example, then your cholesterol is just mildly a little bit more higher than we'd like for it to be. But if you're in the yellow, it's moderate. If you're in the red, listen, I know you eating what you want to eat. You're eating all kind of stuff that's causing cholesterol. Well, you say, okay, with Dr. Roz, what's causing cholesterol? There you go. If that's you, you can go on and raise your hand and fess up and say, oh, you just hit me where it hurts. Yep, okay. Well, somebody said, well, my cholesterol's up, but I don't eat none of this right here. Well, maybe this is you right here, because you're eating your bacon every single morning, okay? Mashed potatoes, all this stuff. Come on, we know we love it. I've been there. We still battle with it sometimes. You just got to understand. You got to recognize and become more intentional. See, this is about you becoming intentional, knowing this is not good for you. So that's got those cholesterol numbers up. And sometimes we've had people say, doctors have told them it'll never be fixed by food alone or changing your diet. That's not true. And we've got proof. We've got people proof that cholesterol numbers will drop when you start cleaning your blood vessels of this cholesterol. And of course, make some diet changes. It's about a lifestyle. The fourth thing we're going to look at is vascular resistance. That's that fourth one. Now you see this example, it's on the yellow on the right-hand side, meaning it's moderately higher than it should be. Vascular resistance, or where are you? If you're in the red, listen, that's really, really an alarm if you're in the red. And if you tell me, well, I don't have blood pressure problems, because that's usually what this is related to, your blood pressure. Let's talk about that. Well, here's what's happened. All of us have these arteries in our blood vessels, right? And then plaque starts building up because of our diet. Plaque from our food, plaque from our animal protein, builds up around the walls, cakes up those walls. Now, what would you do if your faucet got clogged? You take a plunger, you take some Drano, you do something. My point is you would do something. Well, here's the same thing. We do nothing. And if that gets too built up, here's what has to happen. God's going to keep us alive. So that blood has to push harder to get through because it doesn't have as much space to get through, because you need a certain amount of blood to keep you alive. So it's pushing harder and harder and harder. And all of a sudden now it raises the blood pressure. Now in this fourth circle of the artery, that's blocked. That's called heart attack or stroke. That's what we don't need to happen. So that's why we got to reverse the direction that we're going. Now, if you say to me, but Dr. Roz, I don't really have a blood pressure problem. I've never been diagnosed with blood pressure, but guess what? I promise you, if you don't have a blood pressure problem, you got a stress problem. Stress can cause this very same thing. Dr. Prince, our naturopath, says it's not what you're eating always, but it's what's eating at you. You may be dealing with some things internally that you're not letting go of. Maybe you've got a loved one you've lost, the death of a loved one, you're grieving. You've got all kinds of pressure on your job, pressure in your family, pressure in your surroundings. And I tell people, when they're dealing with stress, you got to de-stress. I'm just saying, do something to de-stress. The next three items are going to pair together: vascular elasticity, coronary artery elasticity, and cerebral blood vessel elasticity. Why am I putting those together? Because they have a common denominator. What is that word? Elasticity. So elasticity, what does that mean? The blood vessel is supposed to be very elastic, like a rubber band, and the blood's supposed to just flow through. But because of our diet, because of the toxins, because of the buildup, because of our animal protein, when I say animal protein, I'm not just talking about beef. I'm talking about chicken, pork, turkey, all of them, anything that's got eyes, ladies and gentlemen. Over time, it builds up the plaque. That plaque builds up, it causes that artery to harden. How many of you heard the term hardening of the arteries? Yes, yes. No, we don't have to have it. But if it gets too hard, then it's like the third picture down there, it breaks. And then when it breaks, now what happens? Heart attack or stroke. What's the solution? Remove the plaque. We detox the plaque. We get that plaque out, and then we move right back up to that first picture where that blood has its elasticity back. But now we saw it in three different areas. Vascular elasticity, that's around the heart. Coronary artery elasticity is that same concept, but it's on the heart. Those blood vessels and those arteries that are on the heart. And then thirdly, cerebral, that's the brain, the blood vessel on the brain. So looking at your chart, where are you? Where are you? Now it's going to be on the left. If you're not in the green, it's on the left. So that means there's a decrease in that elasticity. That means that plaque is building up. That means those arteries are getting harder. Yes, yes, yes. So we got to do what? We got to cleanse those arteries. We got to get that plaque out. It's mandatory if you're in the yellow. If you're in the blue, it's just starting. If you're in the yellow, it's moderately harder than it needs to be. And if you're in the red, we crucially got to get you cleansed and detoxed and clean up those arteries. Now, the next things we're going to look at really have to do with how healthy your heart is, the healthy condition of your heart. Myocardial blood demand. Every 60 seconds, the heart demands a certain amount of blood to get to the heart. As you can see, it's on the right. This example, it's in the blue, mildly working harder than it should. So a lot of times what we don't realize is your body needs more oxygen the harder you work. Let's say when you exercise, it takes more oxygen, right? So it demands more. But if you're overworking just sitting in your chair, you're doing it because of that vascular elasticity that's on the left, or because of those fatty tissues that we saw, or because of that cholesterol, see, because all of this works together, then guess what? We've got to clean this up so that it won't have to work as hard as it should. And that's why you may be feeling those chest pains. Somebody's mic is unmuted, so if somebody can take care of that for me, I'd appreciate it. So you feel those chest pains every now and then, you wonder what's going on, and it's got you kind of scary. But see, your heart is working too hard. And then we want to look at the myocardial blood perfusion volume, the volume of the blood flow. On the left, it should be a certain amount of volume flowing through, because that's how you get your nutrients. That's how you get the oxygen through your blood. Remember, we said the lack of oxygen is part of one of our causes of disease. But if you're all clogged up, it can't happen. So we need the cleanse, we need to detox, because that artery is being blocked. And we don't even recognize it. It's not showing up when we go to the doctor, but it's showing up when you feel it in your body and you're all out of breath and you're feeling these chest pains. And then myocardial oxygen consumption. Listen, every time the heart contracts, blood flow is coming through. Oxygen and nutrients are supposed to be coming through. That's what's keeping us functioning. But when it's overworking, it's working so hard, it's tired. And so we're dealing with situations inside our body. We've got to stop the point where we see a person and we're talking to them on the phone. The next day we hear they had a heart attack or an aneurysm or something, and they look like a picture of health, but we don't know what's going on in the cellular level of their body. Now, stroke volume and left ventricular effective pump power. I like to pair these together because there's such an easy solution to this. If you're looking at your scan report and you see it on the left, either one of them, don't worry. It doesn't mean you're having a stroke. Stroke means every time the heart contracts, that's called a stroke. So if you're on the left, in the blue, the yellow, or the red, you're not stroking as efficiently as you should. And that left ventricular effective pump power, that's the left ventricle of your body, of your heart. The pumping, that's just what it says, pump power. You're not pumping as efficiently as you should. Where are you? Blue? You're just mildly not doing it, but yellow, moderately, and red, severely. But it's an easy fix. Yes. Dr. Roz, what's the fix? You heard me right. Exercise. We got to get more cardio in. See, you think you're exercising so you can lose weight, so you can look good. It's for your health. It's for the healthiness of your heart. And don't tell me I don't have time, because it's not even about how long you do it. It's about your consistency. If you got in 15 minutes every single day at the same time, find the time, make the time. Your life depends on it. Your heart depends on it. And you say, okay, but I got bad knees and I got bad this. Well, listen, there are so many videos. I exercised with a lady was doing from the chair. This was some years ago. And she was just exercising. I was going with her, raising her arms, doing jumping jacks in the chair with your arms. I was huffing and puffing. She said, all right, that's good. That's the warm up. I went, the warm up? That was just sitting in a chair. See, I'm telling you, so there is absolutely no excuse. So we got to get that heart rate up. And if you say to me, well, I already exercise, I'm doing regular exercise, I'm a runner, I'm this. I had a lady, she was a runner. She said, I'm a runner. I said, but wait a minute, your heart can get used to a certain pace. I said, your heart can get used to that. So you got to do something erratic. They call it HIIT, high intensity. You got to change it up. If you're on a treadmill and you're going three minutes or the rate of 3 miles per hour, then just for 10 seconds, 20 seconds, 30 seconds, speed it up to 5. Brisk walking. You're walking, give me a little bit of brisk walking. If it ain't but 10 steps, but do something different that your heart has to catch up. And all of a sudden now, you're strengthening your heart. Now, the left ventricular ejection impedance, that word impedance means blockage. So the left ventricle, what makes it so important is that it sends the blood to the rest of our body. But now if it's on the right, that means it's overworking to get it done. So it might not being as effective as it should because it's having to overwork. And listen, just like you and I, anybody that's overworking a long time, you stop working. You're not as good as you were. Well, guess what? The same thing happens with that left ventricular in our body. It's overworking. So we're not getting the effectiveness because there's an impedance. So what do? Remove the impedance. What is the impedance? That's the plaque buildup. The plaque can be all over the body. Just like the coronary perfusion pressure, that same perfusion. When we're talking about the coronary, remember that's on the heart. That's allowing those nutrients and those minerals and stuff to get through the blood and the oxygen to get through the blood. But that pressure is being pressured so much, now it's not being as effective as it should because it's on the right. So it's overworking. See, we can overwork the heart in so many different areas, but it's usually because something else is deficient in some other areas. So we got to get this taken care of because it's on the heart. And last but not least, the brain tissue blood supply status. Brain tissue, right? That almost makes sense what you're hearing. Blood supply to the brain. Yeah. When it's not doing as good, it causes the blood clots, and blood clots lead to a stroke. It leads to an aneurysm, all these things that take place. And we often hear that happening in people, and we see no physical signs on the outside. So all of this has to do with, so really take note of it very seriously, of what's going on from the cellular level in your body, heart and brain over time. Now, no doom and gloom. The good news is everything's reversible. So hang on in here because we're going to explain to you how to reverse it. We're not just going to give you what's the problem, but we're going to give you the solution. Now let's move on to gut health. Now, for most of you, we took 6 pictures and 2 of them related to your gut. Why is the gut important? Because it's related to your what? Immune system. 70% of your immune system is where? In the gut. If we dealt with our gut, if we had better gut health, yes, we would not be so overly concerned about COVID because your immune system would be operating in an optimum place. So that gastrointestinal area, hopefully you have that report up and you're looking at it. The first thing is called pepsin secretion coefficient, pepsin. Now, if you are in the yellow or the red, even if you're in the blue, but especially if you're in the yellow and the red, this thing called pepsin is an enzyme. And this enzyme is made in your stomach and it helps to break down protein. Now, when I say protein, what am I talking about? I'm talking about your meat, right? All you meat lovers, And again, not just beef. Y'all hear me say meat and y'all just eliminate beef. Oh, I don't eat beef, but I'm talking about chicken. I'm talking about turkey. I'm talking about pork. I'm talking about fish too, okay? Because we can overdo anything. But let me just say this. Enzyme is breaking down that protein. Well, if you're eating so much of it because you love it, it's working hard. So over time, it's not working as hard. And now it's not breaking it down. So you're wondering why you're bloated. You're wondering why you're not having good bowel movements. You're wondering why you're not having timely bowel movements. If you're having them at all, you're just clogged up. Yeah, constipation. All this is taking place in your body. Gastric peristalsis. Peristalsis is the muscle that breaks down, that just pushes that food down to your anus so that you can excrete. But guess what? Again, it's on the left-hand side. So if it's not working as efficiently, because over time, so much food, number one, we don't chew it enough. So now you're overworking this bad boy right here. And you're saying, oh, the peristalsis is saying, I'm so tired, because you're just working it. You didn't chew it much, and it's got muscles, got to work. And over time, it's not working, and you're not digesting. You're not having good bowel movements. All of this is taking place, and you're feeling bloated, and that food is not going through. And you're constipated. So you got to take this pill, and you got to take this drink, and you got to take magnesia, and you got to take Pepto-Bismol, listen, and all of that is not really even helping because, again, chemicals. So guess what we got to do? Clean it out. We got to clean the gut out because, number one, we don't eat right. We don't combine our foods correctly. We got to study these kinds of things. These are the kind of information that we will share with you so that you know. Even the Mayo Clinic says it takes about 36 hours to even digest from the whole body, all the way through the colon till you go to the bathroom. Now, who waits that long before they eat again? Nobody. So that means you got food sitting on the walls of your intestines. You're trying to put more food in. That food sometimes backs up, gastric reflux, or it just sits there for a minute because it's moving slow. Or we digest things that we shouldn't eat because look at how long it takes your beef, 3 to 4 hours. And you ate some watermelon, or you ate some cucumbers, or you ate some strawberries, and you ate the beef right with it, and your intestines say, okay, the priority right now for me to work on is the beef. So the melons and all the rest of it just sit there, and the fruit begins to ferment, and you wonder why you got bad breath. We combine foods that shouldn't be combined. We eat our breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and we haven't even digested everything. So stuff is on the wall. So what do? We got to clean it out. We got to flush it out. And here's the theory behind it. We have our body temperature, what? 98.5, 98.6 is our normal body temperature. Do you know that any animal temperature higher than ours causes our body to work harder to break it down? To break down their protein and their oils because it's higher temperature than ours. So that means our body has to produce more energy to break it down. I know you thought that you got energy from eating your food, and no, you don't. Your body works and produces energy to break down that food. It's got to work. You're 98.6. The cow is 101 to 102.5. So every time you eat something from the cow, your body's working harder to break it down. The pig is 101.6 to 103.6. So every time you eat your pork, and don't add the fried part to it, that's a whole nother story all by itself. The turkey, yep, Thanksgiving. Why are we going to sleep after Thanksgiving dinner? Hello, 105 to 107. The chicken, we love our chicken. 105 to 109.4. And again, let's not talk about if we're frying it, okay? But whether you're frying it, baking it, stewing it, whatever you're doing, it still has a higher body temperature than yours, and it's causing your body to work harder to break it down. And that's why we tend to prefer, if we're gonna do this, look at that, the fish, 40 to 60. It has a lower normal body temperature. That's in 60 degree or 40 degree water. It has a lower natural body temperature than ours. So it's much easier to digest. See, doesn't this make a little more sense now? Well, check this. I love this video. Watch this. I love it. I love it. I love it. He can't catch him. He can't catch him. Why? Because the lion is a carnivore. He eats flesh, like most of us, but the gazelles eat plants. So they're much faster. So he can catch them. He got to get really close to them to be able to catch one of them because they took off running. Okay, that's where we need to be able to take off running. So the same thing, you're going to see the same terminology regarding peristalsis and absorption. Absorption means you're not absorbing your food. Now, you could be eating the right things, but if you're not absorbing, if you're all clogged up, then guess what? It's not even giving you the nutrients that you should be. This bothers me because I think about this when I sit with my clients for Medicare and they're taking 3 pills for the same medication. They've got 5, 10, 15 different medications because the doctor said one didn't work. Well, maybe it would have worked if they were absorbing the one they took. But if you're not absorbing it, if you're taking vitamins and you're clogged up and your gastric absorption is in the blue, yellow, or red on the left-hand side, you're not absorbing it, so you're kind of wasting money. You're taking the vitamin C and it's just going through. There was a newscast that I saw of a landfill, and they saw 1-a-day vitamins all over the landfill that had never been digested, the whole vitamin, boop, right there. What good is that? So we got to clean this up. We got to cleanse our system, cleanse our gastrointestinal area, cleanse our small intestines and large intestines, because we have the same things there, the peristalsis and the absorption. So look at your report. Are you on the left in the blue, the yellow, or the red? In this example, the small intestines was much better than just the gastro and the stomach area. But then the large intestines, that's the next report that you took a picture of. And sometimes the large intestines or the colon area, same thing, peristalsis, absorption, even intestinal bacteria, because intestinal bacteria bleeds over into that, because we get intestinal bacteria in our large intestines just from the food that we're eating. This kind of food causes that intestinal bacteria. Yes, smoking does cause it. Yes, alcohol and coffee does cause it. And it's stress. They got that in Spanish. Stress, that's what that means. Causes intestinal bacteria. All of those processed foods, of course, right? So there are changes that we can make, ladies and gentlemen, intentional. This is to bring to light things for us so we can become more intentional and know when you're reaching and getting it, at least now your psyche can say, oh, hold up, wait a minute, let me think about this, right? Because I don't want to be clogged up. I don't want to have all this pressure. I don't want to put more pressure on my intestines because they're only so large. If you were to take your intestines and stretch them out, they would be a quarter length of a football field, but it's not shaped like that. It's not long out like that. It's all wound up, right? And so we put so much food there, it pressures up against the walls. That's an intraluminal pressure. Presses up against the walls, and you're wondering why you're feeling like you're feeling. You're feeling not only bloated, but now you got pains. You got pains going on around your gut. But that pressure against those walls, that's why it's on the right-hand side. It's overworking. That pressure is overworking those walls. Yep, the gut pain. That's terrible. Terrible feeling. And then you guys got to sit and just wait till it passes. What are you waiting on? You're waiting on that pressure to go down as that food begins to digest. But we can fix this. We can fix this by cleansing and detoxifying our body. All right, we got a few more. Liver. We got liver, kidney, and then we got pH. 3 more. Liver. Oh my God. Liver. We got to clean up our liver. Where is your liver report? What does it say? Is anything on the left-hand side? The protein metabolism, the energy production, the detoxification function. It's all about detoxifying, the liver's job. What's the liver job? I'll tell you in a minute. The bowel secretion, all of these, they would probably be on the left-hand side. We're supposed to metabolize our protein. Yeah, it's supposed to break down. It's supposed to be going through our liver. It's supposed to filter out. Energy production, you're sluggish. Yeah, it could necessarily be not the heart, not the kidneys. It could be the liver. What is yours? Is it in the blue? Is it in the yellow? Is it in the red? And when it comes to this bile secretion, approximately 85% of bile is made from water. So what kind of water intake are you getting? You're not doing it. Okay, so that we need that bowel secretion to take place in our bodies. Bitter foods. Ooh, I'm guilty. Don't like nothing bitter. But they're great at stimulating bowel production. There are some countries that's all they do from time to time is they eat bitter foods. We have a bitter tea that I can't stand, but it's great to help you even in your detoxification. Even after you do our cleanse, you could do that bitter cleanse. Yes, if you like to. Okay. I'm just saying. But you got to change some things. We got to choose these dark green leafy vegetables, beetroot, artichokes, pickles, and drinks such as roasted dandelion root tea, lemon tea, celery juice. All these things stimulate bowel production. And then my favorite to talk about is the liver fat. 90% of the people that I talk to on a day-to-day basis have a fatty liver. And we don't understand it. One lady told me, her doctor told her, oh yeah, he said I had a fatty liver. I said, what did he tell you to do? He said, we're gonna watch it. Watch it? You're gonna watch it go from a fatty liver to fibrosis of the liver. You're gonna watch it go from fibrosis of the liver to cirrhosis of the liver. And I was taught that the only people that had cirrhosis of the liver were alcoholics. Well, I've got an announcement to make. There is a non-alcoholic fatty liver disease that is running rampant. And it is really potentially more fatal than a person who's drinking a bottle of vodka every single day. It's progressive. Do you hear what I'm saying? If your report shows you have a fatty liver, what does that mean? You're in the yellow, the blue, or the red. Understand what this is all about. It's the same thing as your vehicle. You have a car, and your car, you change the oil every 3,000 to 4,000 miles, depending on the size of your car or the maker of your car. It might be more, but they don't just change the oil, they change the oil filter. Now, listen, what if they didn't change the filter and only changed the oil, and you sent the clean oil through a dirty filter? Same thing, right? Now you still got dirty oil. Guess what the job of the liver is? To filter the blood. It filters out the toxins. It's supposed to filter out all the mucus, all the stuff that's coming through that we eat. Maybe even when you eat something that you shouldn't, the cholesterol, all of that. Well, the job of the liver is to filter it out. But if it's not doing it, if it's hardened, if you got a fatty liver, blue, yellow, or red, guess what? It's not doing it. And it's sending that dirty blood throughout your body. Where does blood go? Everywhere. The life of the flesh is in the blood. So what do? Cleanse this liver. If you listen, I saw so many reds the other day. I'm telling you, if you're red, you've got a fatty liver, we got to clean it. If you got blue and yellow, we still need to cleanse it. It needs to be done on a regular basis. I can't impress upon you enough, because it's causing so many other problems that are taking place in your body. And now let's work with the kidneys, because the kidneys is your filtration system. This is what all of this is working about together. God made our bodies. You know, you sang the song, the neck bone connected to the shoulder bone, Yeah, everything is interconnected. And when we're talking about the kidneys, we've got all these things, and so many of us are seeing people go through the stages of kidney disease and all the way to kidney failure, and people are needing kidney transplants, especially if you are diabetic, all these things that take place in our life that lead us through these stages. Did I say stages? That means it's progressive. Doesn't know what that means? That means it's also reversible. Don't let anybody tell you it's not reversible. Now, if you got kidney failure, it can't be remade. We can't regenerate it, but you can get into a position where things are done and you can start feeling better and doing better. And even we have some things now that have just recently been introduced to us. We have people that are getting off of dialysis. Yes. Ask the person who invited you here, the person who helped you with the bioscan about that, and they can tell you some more information about that. But let's talk about this filtration system. If your kidney is not filtering, if your filtration system is not working, what do? They put you on one to help you do it. That's what dialysis is. It's a man-made filtration system. Anything that's man-made is not God-made. We gave them the idea to keep people alive, but we've got to take control of our body and take control of our lives. And last but not least, let's talk about the basic body. That's your last report. Your last report that you took a picture of on your phone has to do with your total body. Is your body acidic or alkaline? Acidic or alkaline? Have you ever heard those terminologies? Maybe you have, but do you really understand? This is my way of explaining it. You go to the store, you buy Duracell batteries. Everybody knows about that because we see, take a lick and keep on ticking, right? So Duracell batteries, they work. They're called alkaline batteries. They work, then they slow down, then they slow down, and all of a sudden they don't work anymore because they have lost their alkalinity, acidic. Same thing happens to our body because of our food. He said it's in the food, it's in the food. Because of the toxins, because of all the things that build up. What causes it? Your diet, your toxins, and your stress. Stress, yes. Your diet, yes. Toxins, yes. Toxins in our food. Why is that even important? We want to know where you are in that chart, this last chart. Because if you see things on the left-hand side, the responsibility, the mental power, your water shortage, your hypoxia, that's your oxygen, then all of a sudden you are not operating in your total body as efficiently as you should. You're probably reacting, you're probably just going off on folk. Your attitude ain't cool at all. I'm gonna say it just like that, ain't cool at all. Your mental power, not really sharp. You think you're moving towards dementia. No, you just mental power, gotta get this straightened up. We gotta get the toxins out, get the stress off of you. Drinking more water, because water is around your cells to protect your cells as well. And then that oxygen, and then the pH. Here's the chart. Where are you? Is most of your diet, because it's not what you do some of the time, it's what you do all of the time, most of the time, okay? Every time. Are you on number 3, 4, 5, and 6? Is that where you live? Come on, let's get more of 8, 9, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Alkaline water, 8, 9, and 10. Now people tell me, well, I drink alkaline water. Good, keep on. But let's get the acid out, because we're talking about, again, that bioscan showed what's been taking place in your body since you were a teenager up until now, not what you're doing since you have gotten some sense, or since you've become educated, or since you did your own due diligence of study and realized what you should be doing, and now you're incorporating more fruits and vegetables. But what have you been doing? Let's get it out. Let's get the acid out, because you were eating the burger, you were eating the chicken, you were eating the steak, all these things we were eating on a regular basis, all of the time. We lived over there, most of us, okay? But wherever you are, if you're in the red, notice it's either red or green. There's no gray area here. It's either red or green. So when I do this, when I share this, I always look at the number to see how close you are. And oftentimes people are just a hair away from being alkaline. Well, let's do it. Let's cleanse and detox our body and get our body in that green. Here's why. Disease cannot dwell in an alkaline environment, but it thrives in an acidic environment. That's what cancer cells are. They're created in that acidic environment, and that's why they thrive. So stop eating crap. C-R-A-P, the carbonated drinks. Come on, you gotta have your Coke, gotta have your whatever. Stop. Refined sugars, artificial foods, the processed foods, we gotta stop. We gotta decrease it. We gotta back away. We gotta make up our mind, cut it out. Start cutting some of it out. And all of this tonight, all of this, I live in Houston, Texas, and we have hurricanes and tornadoes, but we have hurricanes, and hurricane season is right upon us. And when they send out an alert and tell us a hurricane is on the way or looks like it's brewing, we do something. Now, the hurricane may not come, but we do something. We go to the store, we buy more groceries, we buy water, we buy all the things we need, we buy batteries in case the electricity goes out. But the hurricane may not come, but we do something. That's what I'm saying. Let's do something. Let's not see this. Let's not see that report and do nothing, because disease is progressive. Whether you do nothing is still going to progress, but in the wrong direction. We needed to reverse. That's why when people do our program and they choose to do our program, it's your choice. We go back later after about 2 months and let your body reset, and we do another scan because we want to see it progress in the other direction. So flushing your body with a cleanse pulls out those toxins and that mucus that builds up from all that cooked food that we eat all the time, the waste, the parasites, the plaque, and we do it through juicing, eating fruits, and eating vegetables. Now, I know by now you're probably ready. You're probably ready for me to stop, right? But I'm going to bring up a lady who I respect so much, so highly. I just appreciate her, and I appreciate everything she does and represents. She loves people. She's a mother, she's a grandmother, she's an entrepreneur, she's an econopreneur, and she's a certified wellness coach, and she loves people. Did I say she loves people? She loves people. She will work with you. Miss Anna Gallagher. Miss Anna, are you there?
I'm here.
Miss Anna, help everybody here. Show them how we can help them.
Good evening, everyone. We can help you, first of all, take our 7 or our 21-day raw cleanse. One of the best ways to elevate your energy is by detoxifying your body. You got 1, daily juice recipes. Number 2, we give you approved grocery lists and raw meal plans. And number 3, the 21-day cleanse products. And step 1 is called the eliminator. It eliminates excess mucus and parasites from your system. It is a powder. You can put it in water, 8 ounces, or either in your juice, because you will be juicing. Step 2 is the purifier. It cleans your colon and detoxifies your bodily organs. In this package, it's going to be a tea bag that you boil 45 ounces of water, drop that tea bag in there, put the lid on it, let it sit overnight, and you're going to be drinking 4 ounces each day before 8 p.m., whether you're on the 7-day or the 21-day cleanse. And number 3 is our regenerator. This replenishes vitamins and minerals in your system. It's also a powder you use in your juice, 2 teaspoons, 16 ounces of juice. You'll be drinking 3 times a day if you're a woman, 24 ounces a day if you are a man, before each or after each meal, breakfast, lunch, and dinner. These are some of the products that you will be adding to your juice or just using. There in the middle, you see the bottle, the blue bottle, that's alkaline water. You're going to be drinking, you're going to be putting just a shake of cayenne pepper. You're going to have the aloe vera juice, the liquid chlorophyll, and flaxseed oil. These will be going in your juice. Also, there will be stores to purchase additional items. We've got H-E-B, Amazon, Trader Joe's, Whole Foods, but of course, you can also choose the store of your choice for your items. All we want is you to get started and get healthier. Back to you, Dr. Roz.
Thank you, Miss Anna. Appreciate it. Listen, guys, listen, let's get started. Let's get started. Here's one of the ways I want you to get started, because what we shared with you were just about 6 things in that report. Now, that report is so extensive. Matter of fact, that report covered 45 areas of your body. We just talked about 6. So if you're a person, you still want to know about some other things like your lungs and your blood sugar, or where you're deficient in your trace elements or your vitamins. Maybe you want to know about your allergies. Maybe you want to know what's going on with your skin or your collagen, or so many things that you might really want to know about. Well, that full report is about 100 pages, and we can email that full report to you for about $30, $29.99. And even there's some additional items that are only for women regarding your breast and the gynecology, and only for men regarding your prostate. So get back with the person who scanned you. They can make sure, they can show you how to go to the website, order your report, and we'll get that full report to you. You might really want to know that information because there's so much more that this, we've seen people get this full report and it costs upwards of $500, we've even heard $800 to get this kind of report, this kind of extensive information. So we really, really want you to have all of the information. And then I asked earlier, did you know your blood type? I bet some of you don't, but you can. Within a matter of less than 5 minutes, you can find it out yourself. This is a wonderful blood type testing kit that's also available. You can order it from our website, get back with the person who invited you. The retail price is $19.95, but when you go to our website, you're going to get a discount price for a whole lot less than $19.95. And everything that you need to do that test is right there in the kit, the sticks, the Eldon sticks, and all the instructions. It's really, really easy to do. The little pricker that just pricks your finger doesn't really hurt, just a little, you don't even know it's happening, right? And then the card shows you how to do it with your blood, and it creates a shape. And you have a card, a sample of different shapes to figure out, are you an A, are you a B, are you an AB, or are you an O? And so many hospitals use this same system to do that. Now let's take the challenge, okay? You saw your results, we need to cleanse. Regardless of what your results were, if you didn't have all greens, even if you have all greens, you cleanse. We know people, our naturopath, he's all greens, but he still cleanses and detoxes at least once or twice a year. The 21-day cleanse right now is $299. And if you're a first-time customer, you're going to get 10% off as a first-time customer. Or the 7-day cleanse. Now, I know some people say I can't do without meat, because that's with no meat, right? You're going to be drinking juice. We're going to give you a recipe for the juice, like Ms. Anna said, using those products to detox your body. And you're going to eat a salad. So we're not going to not let you eat anything at all. But it's important that everything is raw. 7 days is $119. 21 days is $299. Either way, we need you to get started. Now, if you got stuff in the red, you need to lean strongly, think about it strongly, about leaning towards that 21-day cleanse. Because in 21 days, it develops a habit. And your whole system starts changing. Your palate, with me, my palate changed. I didn't want foods that all the same things I usually want all the time. And I definitely can't eat as much as I used to, I'm telling you. And then we can take it to the next level. Now, I start thinking about financially, what makes sense. We have a pack where we enroll as a brand ambassador with our company, and it's for $399. Now, I told you that $299 was to get the 21-day cleanse. But for $399, you can get the cleanse included. And then you can also get some of our other products, like our pain cream. It's one of our #1 sellers. Helps with neuropathy, helps with back pain, helps with inflammation, any kind of pain, arthritis. You even get some of our gummies. For those of you that don't sleep well at night, gives you the REM kind of sleep. These are products that have CBD. CBD is not, in case you don't understand, it's not marijuana. It's from the hemp plant. There's no high. But these are products that help. And these are our own products. And then you'll have your own website too. Why is that important? Because oftentimes when you do the cleanse, I haven't seen it not happen. Changes take place. And people are going to ask you, what are you doing? You're looking, girl, you're glowing. I see you trimming down. Girl, where your stomach go? Yeah, see, all that happens because waste leaves. And then guess what? Weight also leaves. Now, you may be saying, I don't need to lose any weight. But that doesn't mean anything. You need to lose waste. Because now if you don't have any fat on you, these toxins and mucus stuff and these parasites and stuff are going straight to your organs because you don't even have any fat for it to go to. So you still need to cleanse. But what I like about this, do the math. $299 just for the 21-day cleanse, $399 for this whole pack, and the 21-day cleanse is included. I like that. I like it. I think it makes sense. But then there's also another pack for $799. Now, here's what's cool about this. This coaching pack allows you to learn so many things that we do, but you get even more product. You get 3 7-day raw cleanses. So that could be for several people in your house that want to do 7 days. There's nothing like collectively doing this as a family. And then you're still getting pain cream. You're getting our brand new hemp protein meal. That Hempranium Gold is our own proprietary formula. That's an oil that you put up under the tongue, 3 drops in the morning, 3 drops in the evening. And it's got peppermint, black seed oil, turmeric. Or you have any inflammation, maybe you're diabetic, maybe you're dealing with high blood pressure. That's Hempranium because it has 500 milligrams of CBD. It's fantastic. The pain cream, you get some sample gummies. This is a wonderful way to get a full package of things. And now, as I said, 3 7-day cleanses for you, your husband, and your daughter or your son. And it's going to be a family affair. Just saying, right? It's amazing. And did I say you get the website? Yes, you still have the website because guess what? Now you're actually in business for yourself and people can go to your website and now purchase any products because they saw your results. But let's not close until I talk about the best. This is the best. And this is for all of you that say, I want to be a coach. I want to do what you guys are doing. I want to help people. I've always wanted to help people. I want to change people's lives. Yes, we will teach you. And did I say, or let me please say, we need more coaches. We want to have coaches in every city and every state. As a certified wellness coach here at Akana, we'll teach you everything about the certification. We'll teach you everything about food combinations, about stress, how to help people with stress. Because when you sit down with a person and they sit beside you to do that bioscan, you're literally helping to change their course of their life. Now, in this $14.99, what it does not include is the actual scan equipment. So for an additional $500, so just round it off to about $2,200, you can have everything, tons of equipment. You get 3 7-day cleanses and a 21-day cleanse all in this package, your website, pain cream, other products, products on top of products. All you got to do now is just get back with the person that did your scan, introduced you to this, invited you to this presentation, and say, you know what? I want to be a coach. I want to be a wellness coach. I want to help people all over the country because have scan will travel. That's what I tell folk. I'm in Austin, Texas right now, traveling with my scan equipment. I was on a plane going somewhere yesterday, had my scan equipment. Anywhere you go, now you can assist people and help them. Didn't have to just be your city or town. Absolutely amazing. So make a decision. Get back with the person who invited you because we're ready to elevate you and you elevate with us and join our family here at Akana. So we're going to stop for a minute now and we're going to see if we have any questions.